Grassroots level cricket is so important to the development of the next generation of talent in South African cricket. Now, I thought that we need to speak about this because obviously there's a lot happening with the SJN and there's a lot of talk about transformation, the quota system. All of those things are coming out at the moment in public when it comes to South African cricket. And it's difficult for you to talk about South African cricket without talking about this. So, where does it all start and where does all of this begin? It has to start with grassroots level. Now, I want to speak a little bit about it today on the show, and I want to dedicate the show all about grassroots level, what I've seen, what I've experienced, what Aditya's experienced, what he's read, what he's noticed about it as well. We're going to be talking about all of this on today's video. So, if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, and there's a big red button at the bottom of your screen, that shouldn't be there, guys. That's a fault in the system. You guys have to understand that you see that red button over there at the bottom. If you don't, you're going to have 100 years of bad luck. So you must click it if it's red. You must click it, please. Subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. And let's get straight into today's content. Really excited about that. Smash that like button. Let's get straight to it. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is my co-host Aditya. And this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, in light of the SJN hearings, I thought that this would be a good topic to discuss. I just want to put a disclaimer right now so that everybody knows, because I've seen some hectic things on Twitter about the SJN and certain journalists that are not following it, etc., etc. And I need to speak about it, and I need to speak about it now. We are not covering it currently on our website. There is a restructure happening in Cricket Fanatics Magazine currently with regards to the way we're going to be going ahead with things going forward, which you guys will hear about very, very soon. But the reason we have not covered this is because I feel that we want to hear all the hearings. Myself and Aditya have been listening to all of the hearings, majority of them when we had the chance, and we've taken notes and taken mental notes as well about what is going down. We've discussed it off air as well about how we're going to cover this from a Cricket Fanatics point of view. Now, we have to also remember that there are obviously both sides to a story, two sides to a story, and we're going to have to hear what the other side says. So there's going to be the accused and there's going to be the guys that have been victims, and we're going to have to take both of their sides and listen to it and report on it and speak about it to you guys. So at the end of the SJN hearings, myself, Aditya, and guests will come on board and we're going to speak about everything in depth. I think it won't be doing the SJN justice if we just speak about each and every single case individually. I think we need to go into it in depth and listen to everybody's views and what they have experienced, because some people have experienced heavy levels of racism while others have had subdued versions of racism. I don't want to say subdued because every sort of racism is bad and wrong, but there's been loads of things that have been spoken, and for us to just do one of them and skip over it and miss one and miss the other one, there's no way we'll be able to cover every single thing to the T with all the content that we'll be bringing to you guys. So we will be doing a show on this, discussing what happened in it and what we think about it. All of us will be able to openly talk about it, as well as in the live comments as well. Now, one theme that I did pick up out of this, there was a discussion about the quota system, and I want to speak about transformation specifically and grassroots level cricket in South Africa, because I think everything stems from that. Everything about cricket in South Africa stems from that. There were questions about the amount of Black African batsmen have been produced in the country. There are questions about the amount of Black Africans and Khalids, or Black Africans or Blacks, if you want to talk about it in South African terms or in worldwide terms. There is a problem with the amount of people of color that we've been produced in this country. And the problem lies in the grassroots level. Now, I want to give you guys some sort of overview. This is going to be a very brief overview of everything, but I want to give you guys an understanding of what it is like in South Africa, because of the poverty line in South Africa, a lot of kids struggle in the townships and in the poorer communities with facilities and with having parents that can pay for their education, as well as having the ability to be able to put people through school, put food on the table is something that is a bare minimum that people can't even do in this country. And a large portion of the people that are suffering in this country because of the poverty line is ridiculous. You guys will be shocked if you go look at the stats. Go ahead and Google the stats and go have a look at what that is like and what it is like in South Africa. Now, on top of that, you are asking a sport that is known for having, that's been a wealthy man's sport, is cricket. Cricket has always been, a batsman has always been a rich man's game, being a cricketer and a batter as well. Go look at the prices of equipment. If there are kids in the townships that can only afford to go to the local schools where the school fees is a couple of R100, how are they going to afford a bat that costs, or pads, or a kit that costs over 10 to 20,000 rand? That is the issue that we were working with in South Africa. So we need to talk about that. We need to talk about what we can do for the community. There are boys also that are struggling, and the ones that are dedicated. You've got a guy that can walk down the road and go practice every day, compared to a boy that is living in the township that has to take 2 taxis to get to practice and then 2 taxis back. That's something that is crazy, and crazy hours in the evening as well. Now you're expecting a boy that is living on virtually nothing to be able to afford that is impossible. Facilities wise, schools that don't have the money to be able to put facilities in place, to put nets up, to make sure that a coach is there every single day training them, a coach of a high standard too. Remember, when you go to a boys' school or you go to a Model C school, you get a coach, your parents will buy your kit, you'll have trainers, you'll have a bat, you'll have a ball. The coach brings balls to you, a bag of balls for you to use and practice on. I know this because I've went to a Model C school, and I've seen what people that don't have anything have to go with. They share a ball, they share pads, they share a bat. I remember in primary school we played against a team, and this is not necessarily a very poor school that we played against as well. I don't want to mention names because I don't want to put people out there in the public. But this is not necessarily a very poor school. It was a school that people, that their parents did have jobs, but very low income jobs. Their children played sport. I watched them share a bat, share gloves, and share a pad. I think they had 2 each. They had a set, and they had two sets, and it was shared amongst the team. With regards to kit, when the person went out to see them all in the same kit, was highly unlikely. Some had black tracksuit pants on, some had white tracksuit pants on. One person had a cricket pants, or 2 people had cricket clothes, like actual cricket whites. Some of them shared trainers. Like the one boy, I remember the one boy in the team was pretty wealthy. He had a pair of shoes, the cleats that you use for cricket as a bowler. He shared it with the bowlers in the team so that they can also run in with something a little bit of extra. So the difference is crazy. The difference between the poverty line and what the rich have and what the poor have is ridiculous, the gap. Now, Aditya will know about this too in India, because I know that there are people also struggling with regards to poverty in India. And the amount of people in India, it's billions of people. So we're working with massive percentages. The grassroots level development is so important to finding the next generation of talent. It just so happens that in South Africa, that race is attached to that poverty line. Unfortunately, because of apartheid and the wrongs of apartheid, race is attached to that. And it's so unfortunate that that is the case, that the majority of people that are coming from the poorer communities are people of color. And that's an injustice that we are doing as a country to the people that have the talent, the skills, that need the opportunities. And it's about giving the opportunities, because look what happens when we do. Makai and Tini, we've got Lungi Ngidi, we've got likes of Temba Bavuma, we've got the likes of Tsotsobe, we've got Sinitembe Klashile, we've got so many guys that have come through the ranks We even can speak about the guys like Ngam. There's so many. George, Mr. Jeffrey Toyana, what he's done for the for cricket in South Africa. There's so many examples that we can give. Ashwell Prince, coming from a poorer community, a difficult, hard background, making it at the national international stage. They weren't the likes of and this is not a shade at the guys like Gibbs who went to Bishops or the guys that went to top schools like KG Rabada, because they deserve all the credit for also coming through the system and performing the way they did. But when you are looking around and there's so many kids that are suffering, I know that we don't want to compare sports, but a sport like rugby or football, it's a lot easier for a poorer person to play the sport and get noticed than it is for cricket because of the amount of money you need to be able to play the sport. And we need to make it easier for the rest of the people in this country. Now, that was my 10-minute rant. Aditya, I would like to hear what you have to say about this, because this is something really that is important to the development of the next generation.
Definitely. And in South Africa, there need to be pathways outside of the schoolboy system that can help nurture talent, because at the moment it appears as if most of the talent is coming from the elite schools of South Africa, and players such as Ashwell Prince or Temba Bavuma, Makaya Ntimi, who are exceptions to that norm, um, are too few and far between. So there needs to be a greater effort by Cricket South Africa to identify how they can take cricket to the townships, how they can provide equipment to the townships, and just make life easier for kids who have the talent and the desire to really make it big in cricket. Because at the moment, uh, it seems like that's not really happening. Rishikesh in the comments has said that the kit is very expensive in India too, but the poor middle class follow and play cricket. I just like to correct that, because Khalid and I have talked about the prices of kits, and we've compared India versus South Africa. And generally, you look at the difference between like a reasonable kit, it's 5 times the cost in South Africa compared to India. Um, so I think it's like I told you the other day that I got a kit for I think about 1,500 rand. You know, like an entire kit comprising bat, pad, gloves, shoes, and things like that. And that's not really available in South Africa.
Not at
So
all.
there are complex issues at play, and I suppose it requires a comprehensive approach.
I guess there's adequate equipment for them to play street cricket. Like, you get those little kits at game and at your convenience stores, that will be a little bit cheaper. But if you play a hardball cricket match, that thing will break. I remember I got a bat from my school, gave me a bat. I mean, luckily when I was in primary school, they gave me a full kit to play with for the zonal and regional trials. So they left that for me. They gave that kit for me for the season. So I played with that kit for the season. They provided me with that, and the bat broke within, I think, 5 or 6 games, because it wasn't oiled correctly and all of those things, and it wasn't an English willow bat. So all of those things you have to take consideration if you want a proper kit that lasts you for long. I mean, majority of the times a bat will go through the generations. I saw some kids, their father had a bat when they were growing up, and then they handed it down to the kids, and that's how they played with their parents' kit, and that's how they went out into the middle. But the difference between cricket, of course, is the equipment is so important, but not only equipment, it's the facilities. With football, a kid can find, or rugby, they can find the passion from a young age, because they can just go outside, and there are fields in the community where they can play some touch rugby and they can play some football, and all they need to do is run around barefoot. They don't even need shoes to do so, because even in primary school, you play barefoot for a large part of your career. By that time, you would have found some sort of aid from other parents at the school, etc. My major problem here is that um, my major problem here is that the top schools that play cricket, because not all schools play cricket in the townships, and not all the schools that are available to these kids are playing cricket. That's why the KFC mini cricket program is so important. I've seen the talent there, boys. I've seen what amazed me the most is I went to a KFC mini cricket event. I asked one of the kids, "Have you ever played cricket before?" He said, "No, sir, it's my first time." The boy was hitting the ball over bowlers' heads, right, left, pull. He was hitting the ball and he just watched it on TV. The talent is there. We just need to find them and give them the opportunity. And I feel that our schools, our top schools in the country, need to do more to help develop. Maybe academies can help in this. Maybe we can build academies in different areas where we can help the foundation phase of kids playing the game. The KFC mini cricket program is doing great at introducing them to the sport, but to continue it further is what's going to be the tricky part. For you, Aditya, maybe we can learn something from the way India handles things. How do you guys handle your grassroots level program? I'm talking about kids between the ages of 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe reaching into grade one.
Look, we play cricket everywhere. I think that's the secret to our love for the game. Like when I was growing up, I was playing cricket in my building. I was playing cricket at home. Smashing lights, and it's not like I had pads and gloves and things like that. I just had a bat and ball and some plastic stumps, and that was it. That was good enough. There are people who are playing in the lane. Uh, so it's I think it's just the fact that you have a bat and ball, and then you have like make believe stumps and things like that, and that's good enough. And because in a community based society, it's like a group of friends will sort of pitch in and buy a bat together. So that sort of alleviates the pressure of the cost of equipment as well. And um, I think because cricket is as popular as it is in India, it's not very difficult to find a bat virtually anywhere. Or you find a ball, and we play with rubber balls and tennis balls and things like that. It's not like everyone's always playing with the hard season ball. So I think people just want different ways of playing cricket, and uh, perhaps it's time to sort of instill that sort of passion in kids in the townships in particular. Where you just take a bat ball, just have a chair as a stump. So you just have like a couple of stones that act as stumps, and get people to play a game of cricket. So in a lot of ways, I think the way you talked about touch rugby and football and things like that, where it's just easy. You have a ball and just start playing. The same can be done with cricket, but the availability is also key.
I just want to give people an indication, right? I know I see you talking about 10 to 20k rupees a month in the comment section. Minimum wage in South Africa in 2021 was 21 rand an hour. If you work a full day's work, tally that up, which is 8 hours a day. Just tally that up and see how little that is. For a minimum wage, for a kid to bring that for a parent to bring that home to their kids per month, that is barely enough to buy milk, bread, and something to put on the bread. And remember, there's other things that you need to provide. And in the townships also, there's a lot of kids that are living in one little shack. There might be 7, 8, 9 kids or people in one little shack made out of tin. So the difference is that you're asking for a kid that a person, and remember, there are a lot of unemployed people in South Africa. Remember that too. So for unemployment in South Africa, I will give you a stat. Unemployment rate up to date at the moment in South Africa is 32. I think over here they're saying in Pretoria this is new. What is the unemployment rate? It's 32.6%. 32% in this country are unemployed. So please explain to me how people that have kids that are sending their kids to local schools that don't play cricket are supposed to afford private coaching or supposed to afford opportunities for the children to play cricket. And that's where it comes in. And that's where the problem lies. So we need to sort that out. Aditya, that's your final words from you. I don't know. You just muted. Is it working? Can't unmute you. Can you unmute yourself? I don't know. Let's see if we can work it out. Let me just look at some of the comments while you try to work it out there, teacher. I don't know what's going on over here. Yeah, Werner put up a stat. In South
I'm
Africa,
back.
80%,
Sorry.
80% of the country are barely able to make 2,000 to 3,000 rand a month. A cricket bat alone ranges between 6,000 to 10,000, no comparison. And that is like a lot of money because, like I said, the minimum wage in South Africa is 21 rand an hour. So they're struggling to get even to 2,000 to 3,000 rand a month. I mean, interns in South Africa earn about 3,000 rand a month in some cases. So I mean, on average, I think if I don't want to tell, I'm thumb sucking over here, but on average, you'll probably earn about 15 to 20,000 rand a month. And I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you have to pay, you know, how expensive apartments and places to stay are in South Africa. If you look at Cape Town alone, you know, you'll have a shock out of your life. But anyway, I did your final words from you.
Yes, I'm grateful for Werner's comment there because uh, what what's striking there is that a cricket bat alone ranges 6,000 to 10,000 rand. That's close to like 30,000 to 50,000 rupees. And where cricket is, the cricket really works for us is that you can get a bat at the cost of 100 rupees, at 200 rupees, at 500 rupees, and at 30,000 rupees. So, there are ranges. And I think that's what is missing in South Africa. There isn't enough low cost equipment for people. So if you give someone like you give someone a bat worth 50 rand, I think there'll be plenty of takers for it.
Yeah.
But because it's so prohibitively expensive, that's too much of an issue. But early on in the show, you mentioned that look up the stats; they're staggering of poverty. My recommendation to our viewers is look up the pictures because I think they are gut wrenching, and they're an indication of just how divided South Africa is economically, and it's an important factor in determining who plays, who doesn't play cricket in South Africa, and why there are so many discussions around transformation in cricket.
You guys go ahead and try to play cricket, a full game of cricket on an empty stomach. I would like you guys to see you pull it off. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will be doing this a lot more and we will be putting more emphasis on this. Guys, we really want to try and help in the future. And that's why we're working so bloody damn hard to try and make money with Cricket Fanatics magazine. We haven't really made a cent yet, besides the patrons that have been so loyal to us and giving us money every single month and becoming part of the patron help grow Cricket Fanatics so that we can help grow cricket in South Africa, because that is a goal of all of us at this company, that we want to try to do that. So guys, thanks a lot for all the support. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Cricket Fanatics magazine. It's a monthly magazine. The link is on the screen and in the description. This is so important, guys, because this is to show you that you are a true fan of Cricket Fanatics magazine. So share this with all your friends and family, and let us become a community and build this community. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys again with another daily show. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening.